Welcome back to Ian and Jill's 2-Up Motorcycle Adventures. It was time to leave the Baltic states behind and cross the sea to Scandinavia. There were 3 ferry options and we were sailing on the Akero line from Tallinn to Helsinki. It was a 12 o'clock sailing and we were advised to be there about 2 hours before departure. When we arrived at Terminal A, there were only a couple of other vehicles waiting for the ferry. It was a beautiful morning and we passed the time chatting to the other motorcyclists who were also heading north. The check-in procedure was very smooth and we were through and onto the dock long before the ferry arrived. Unlike the Belfast Cairnryan service, they don't strap down your bike for you, but nobody told us, so it's just as well it was a cam crossing. When we reached Helsinki about 2 hours later, we had a relatively short run to our accommodation just on the outskirts of Helsinki. We were able to park the bike just outside the flat, which was up to the usual high standard. In this case, we had a hot tub, which we were able to take advantage of a couple of times while we were staying here. After we had settled in, we decided to take a walk to a nearby waterfall and lake, and after that we had a very nice Himalayan meal in a Nepalese restaurant on the way back. We were joined for dinner by a friendly house sparrow. The next morning got off to a wet start, but we decided to get on our wet gear and face the elements, to do a little bit of sightseeing and to get our sticker for Finland. We were rewarded by finding a souvenir shop which sold us a sheet of 4 stickers, one for Finland, Sweden, Norway and Denmark, so that'll save the panic as we visit each of those countries in the next few days. Riding over the wet cobbles reminded me that it was time that I was getting some new tyres. So after a call to Bike Team, they very kindly agreed to fit me in that afternoon, and the weather cleared up, so I made my way out to their dealership. Since some of the route we had planned through Scandinavia was coming up as unpaved, I decided to go for Michelin Anakee 50/50 tyres. While I was waiting for the tyres to be fitted, I browsed round the accessories section and came across this nice GB tank bag, which I decided would be a good addition to our luggage. That evening we met up with Enda and Johanna and they introduced us to a very traditional meal of reindeer. They also advised us of the best route north and things to see en route as we travelled up through Finland. Thanks again for meeting up, guys, and we look forward to seeing you in Belfast again soon. The next morning we got away in good time and did a little bit of sightseeing en route, but it wasn't very long before we turned off the main road onto an unpaved road, which was a good test for the new tyres. After a few miles, we turned back onto tarmac and had a really nice run up through the lakes. After a dry run, we arrived at our accommodation in Jyväskylä. It was right beside the lake and we were able to park our bike in a dedicated parking space just outside the front door. It also had a sauna, very popular in Finland. We went for a walk around the town centre and bought a carry-out which we ate on the balcony. That night it rained heavily, but thankfully it stopped before we set off the next morning for Oulu. We could see from Ventu's sky that the rain was heading north just ahead of us, so when we caught up with it, we decided to take a break and have a coffee. Here we had the pleasure of meeting Jussi and his pet cat, Bola, who were on a camping trip, following roughly the same route as ourselves. Hello Jussi, we're very pleased to meet you and Bola travelling with you all the way up to the north.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your trip, please.
We started off from Helsinki and now only like 2 days of our riding, and we're heading off to north to Oulu tonight and then to Sodankylä and meeting a friend there. But we're also planning to go to Norway and kind of like right through the coast.
Very nice.
South.
Yeah, we will see you there because we are planning to do a similar trip.
Yeah,
so that will be lovely to see.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see you in a moment or two whenever Bola is getting into your compartment.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our own earplugs.
Oh wow! Her own earplugs. Yeah. Amazing.
Cat's hearing is like 3 times more sense. Oh well, now she's not having it.
Yeah.
Nyani.
Getting her earplugs in.
There is a German blog I saw was been traveling with a cat as well. Okay. That's where I got the inspiration.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Now she's all ready. I really want to see her looking at the top. Yes. Hello, Bolo. Safe travels. As we headed further north, the roads started to dry up. Unusually, the car tracks seem to be drying before the centre, which is the opposite way round from at home, where the centre usually dries first. I'd be interested to hear from anyone who has an explanation for that. It kept dry until we got to our accommodation in Oulu, where we were met by our host. We got checked in and, as usual, headed into the town to do some sightseeing. The next morning we had a very nice run up to the border with Sweden. We usually refuel when we've about 100 kilometres left in the tank, just to make sure we don't run the risk of running out. We were just getting to that point and decided we should fill up at the next station. Unfortunately, it was closed, so we went on to the next one. It was only diesel. Unfortunately, our sat-nav was telling us that the next fueling option was after or very close to the point where we would run out, so we stopped at a cafe to ask for some directions to something a little bit closer, and they were able to direct us to something which was off the road but quite convenient. During our little diversion we came across something very sad, a tractor graveyard. Soon after that we crossed the Arctic Circle, a major milestone on our trip. 20 minutes later we came across a family of deer, just lying down the side of the road enjoying the sunshine. We were almost past them before we realised, so we turned and came back up the road. They were a bit startled by our approach, but they didn't run off, thankfully, so we were able to observe them for a few minutes, which was really nice. About half an hour later, we noticed a camper van that was coming towards us was moving quite slowly, and as we got closer, we realised it had slowed down for a reindeer in the road. This time, it was a great big daddy reindeer with a superb set of antlers. In this remote region we had a little bit of difficulty finding some accommodation, but we were actually very pleased with the cabin that we eventually discovered. We also opted for the buffet breakfast, which turned out to be a really good deal at about £7, or equivalent of £7 per person. Okay. Lights on.
There we go. Oh, that's us. Very cool.
Nice.
Thank
I love the reindeer skin on the wall.
Very
Just gathering some firewood for the campfire tonight. Come on, Joe. Let's go. It's moose burgers. My 5 a day. Nice. What? You know I like playing with fire.
You need a fire.
The next morning we didn't wake until after 8 a.m. Breakfast was being served from 8 to 9, so I had to very quickly go and get our breakfast, which was really delicious, and we finally got on the road about 10 o'clock, heading towards the Ice Hotel. The Ice Hotel, started in 1989, is now open 365 days a year. Although it was a fairly expensive visit, we decided it was worthwhile, and the sculptures really were amazing.
Can I get you a cup of coffee in the ice bar?
Cool as mince. This is for the ice sculpting class. How cool is that? It was actually very nice to get back out into the warm sunshine and have a wee swing on the swing. Soon it was time to get back on the road. After a while, we spotted signs to an Abisko tourist attraction, so we decided to check it out, and we're glad we did. It was pretty amazing. The scenery before and after the Norwegian border was really stunning. The video really doesn't do it justice. After crossing this impressive bridge, we reached Narvik around 17:30. We decided to refuel before going to our accommodation, but this particular Shell garage didn't seem to have the facility to just fill up. We had to tell them exactly how much we were going to put in the tank. Well, that didn't work for us, so we decided just to leave it till the following morning. Our accommodation in Narvik was a third floor flat and quite high up the hillside above the town, so we had a really good view of the sea. I worked on this video until nearly midnight, and then we went to take some video of the midnight sun. We even managed to catch a midnight rainbow. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you'd like to follow the rest of our trip, and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video.